Hello there, everybody. It's me, your Star Wars dad, and welcome to my very first episode in a new series called Dad Reviews Games. I'm going to be reviewing other games here other than the games I'm playing. We'll do one video. I will play them so that you can determine if you want to. Today, we are reviewing Star Trek Fleet Command, a mobile game, a mobile collectible game. As you can see on the screen right now, you can collect your Star Wars heroes, your champions, your officers throughout the history of the game. You get Data, you get Deanna Troi, you can go back to original Kirk, original Spock, movie Kirk, movie Spock. I don't know if they've done old Kirk and old Spock yet, stuff like that, but you get the idea. And I believe you can collect the characters. You get New Generation, Next Generation, so you get Picard. I didn't see Locutus in there, but I'd imagine at some point they'll do that too. You can collect your favorite ships. You start with the basic ships. You just kind of upgrade their generic basic ships, but you start upgrading to things like the Klingon vessel, and eventually get to the Enterprise, stuff like that. So again, I only played this game for a day, so I don't have any of the good stuff, but I want to give you an idea of what this game is like, and it comes from Scopely, who is the creator of Marvel Strike Force and the creator of Walking Dead Road to Survival, so they're no stranger to IPs. So you might wonder, is this game like Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, where I collect my best characters, my best ships, and I match them up like 5v5 or 3v3, like Marvel Strike Force or like Galaxy of Heroes? The answer is no, not at all. Not even similar. There's no going PvP or PvE strategy type of thing like that, where you say, here's my Kirk team with Kirk, Spock, Scotty, whatever, and there's your Klingon team with, I don't know, Worf and King Klingon and Klingon 2 and Klingon in a red shirt. I don't know. So they don't have any of that stuff. This is more like a game back in the day. Remember Game of War? It was a game. Now, the Game of War was a horizontal type game, and it was a portrait type game. This is a landscape type game. I played a game very similar to this back in the day. It's called Empire Z. Now what happens in this game, and games like Empire Z and Game of War, is you build up your base. You kind of build up your base a la Clash of Clans style, and probably most of you have played Clash of Clans at some point. So you build up a base. You build up like collectors to collect your resources. I don't remember all the names. There's 3 different specific resources. I can't remember the names of them. So you build up machines on your base that will collect the resources. You build a shipyard. You build an academy to recruit officers. You have your headquarters, your town hall. I can't remember what it's called, the main place. You build up your research center. So you do research, you recruit officers, you build ships, you get resources from there. Now there's other ways to collect resources as well. The primary among them until you get to level 10 would be going around and you send your ship after these. Boy, what are they called? They're these guys just roaming through the galaxy. Level 1, they call them level 1 and level 2. They've got the basic resources you need, plus they'll give you some little kits every now and then that you can upgrade your officers with, and I assume other parts of the game with as well. They give you like little kits to upgrade. It's a lot like if you play Game of War or Empire Z or games like that. It's a lot like going and you find ore, like iron ore, and you go farm. You send a worker out there, or you send a party out to it for a day, and they farm it, and they come back with a bunch of iron ore, and then you build another building. You also get gold. It's very similar to that, but it's Star Trek based. So it's IP based, a lot like those kinds of games. Now, the good thing is that, and by the way, I'm going to give a ranking. We're going to rank all the different aspects of the game for you at the end and give you a total number of what I think of the game. The good thing of the game is it keeps you busy, right? You've got to go out and you've got to find resources. You've got to go out. You can either attack those ships that are roaming around your galaxy quadrant. You can go to a different galaxy, a different star, and you can mine. You can mine these asteroids or planets, and now the challenge is your ship sits there and can be attacked by others, and then it comes back. You can attack other players once you get to level 10, and I assume you mine their resources as well. You doing a raid. I think of like a Clash of Clans thing where you go raid somebody else, or even, as I mentioned, Game of War, or for me, Empire Z, you go just raid somebody who's not very good at the game. They're lower level than you. Most of the battles will come down to whose ship is bigger, whose ship with characters and officers on it has more power. Maybe a fleet. I don't know if you do fleets down the road or it's always just one ship. But whatever ship is bigger, it seems like is going to win the day. And if your ship has more power, if my ship has 3,000 power and the other ship has 2,000 power, or the other base has 2,000 power, I'm going to beat it. It's going to cost me more damage to my ship than if I attack somebody with 1,000 power. You get the idea. It's a basic thing of, if I'm bigger, I beat you. So there's not a lot of specific like battle level strategy for you to follow. Now there are going to be farming strategies, way to farm faster. If you're a free-to-play player, you got to find strategies to get your base up as quick as possible. You got to go join an alliance. So there are alliances out there, just like in any other game like this. I don't know if it was 25 or 50 people in the alliance. You get in there, you help each other finish. So like if I start my command center, that's what it is, command center. If I started and it takes 10 minutes, I can ask for help. My alliance mates can go in there and they can click a button and give me a minute off each. You know, they each give me a minute off for every time they press it. I can do the same for my alliance mates. And then at some point, I would assume you're going to go to war with other alliances out there. And a lot of that's just controlled through like a Discord or maybe the game chat. I didn't get that deep into that part of it. So you can go to, and I don't know if there's events around war. I didn't see that. I did see events. The event I was participating in was level up your officers. So whoever got the most points leveling up officers got to win the event. And it went first to 25th. So I was matched up against 24 other players. I think I was ranked like 16 when I was looking at it. And obviously, I was pretty low level. I was still learning the game. Somebody that would have been at like higher levels than me would have gotten more points. Because as you upgrade your officers, like any other game, you're going to upgrade them at higher levels. They'll be worth more points, etc., etc. So you upgrade your officers, you build new ships, you upgrade your ships, you go out and farm the resources to get those ships, you farm the resources on your base to get those ships, you build the resources, you research bigger farming stuff and bigger ships and better ways to farm officers. That's the basics of the game. I mentioned the benefit. So the benefit is, if you want to just have a lot of fun, it'll keep you busy. You could sit here I could sit here literally all day and just take my ship that I built and go farm. I could just go farm the level 1 and level 2. It doesn't take very long. It's very quick farming, whereas in a lot of other games I played, you know, you send out a farming party, it might be 3 or 4 hours before they come back. I can go farm these ships that are flying around. It'll take me it takes 5 seconds. It's like 30 seconds each ship at the most. So it's pretty quick farming, unless you go mine an asteroid, and that takes like 45 minutes, the ones I found anyway. Again, I'm early in the game, so there is quicker farming in this game for what I can see, but I would imagine as you advance the levels, those low-level farms that are really quick don't do as much for you. You need to go out there and take over somebody's base and steal other resources and stuff like that. So that's the benefit for a free-to-play player or somebody just wants to spend a little bit. You can play in some events. You can go do some farming. You can build up your base pretty quickly. I got up to level 6 on day 1. Level 6 was kind of a cutoff there. I think level 10 would be the next cutoff where you get to actually attack other players, etc. So it's got a lot of fun there. I think there is a community aspect to it where you're talking to your guild mate or your alliance mates. You're coordinating with them to attack other people. Let me talk about the one drawback. I'll give you 2 drawbacks. One drawback, a basic one, is there's no strategy, like I mentioned earlier. There's no, like, I'm going to send in my 3 ships. My one ship is good at tanking. My one ship is a tank. My one ship is an attacker. This one's a support. You don't have any of that as far as I can see. Maybe it comes in later in the game. At the beginning, nothing similar to that. You're taking in one ship, you're fighting one ship, or you're fighting one base. And that's the drawback to it. There are some missions you can do, by the way. There's a story going along as you do this. You get to go to those missions and get resources and stuff for your base. Now, the biggest drawback. What is the biggest drawback of playing a game like Star Trek Fleet Command, Game of War, Empire Z? Here's the biggest drawback. I can spend as much money as I want to build my base and build my ships as fast as I want. I'm sure there's some aspect of it that makes you do some farming that holds you back a little bit, but pretty much what I noticed was I could fork out some big bucks and I could pretty much finish anything I want as fast as I want. So conceivably, in a very short period of time, I could have a high-level base if I spend a bunch of money. I could have a really big ship with a bunch of great officers behind it, and I could come after you and your tiny little base. And I could blow up everything you've worked so hard. Maybe I've been playing for a week, you've been playing for 2 months. I take away, half of what you have. I don't know, there's some kind of thing. There'll be something there where you keep some portion of your resources and troops or ships or whatever. So I can just take away everything you got because I spent real world dollars. And that's the real challenge. When I played a game of Game of War, I played it for a week and realized there were whales in the game that were spending tens of thousands of dollars, and they just would attack entire alliances with impunity. Like, you'd have one guy just roll in and blow away the entire alliance because he was bored one afternoon. And I would imagine that's the same type of thing that can happen in this game. Now, does that completely take away from your enjoyment? Does it happen all the time? My guess is not. And if you work hard enough and build yourself up enough, you can get into an alliance where you got alliance mates that can maybe come help you out. Maybe you get into an alliance where there's one big whale who helps everybody out, and you can just farm away at will and grow at will and have fun. So, at heart, it's a collection game. You're collecting the characters, you're collecting the ships. Then you're going to battle everybody for the resources you need to collect the characters and build the ships. But at space, it's really kind of I wouldn't say pay to win, but it's pay to win. So let's rank it here. Let's talk about first collectability. How is the collectability in this game? I'd rank it a 5. It's an IP. You get to collect all these Star Trek characters. I'm sure they're going to be adding more and more characters as you go. For me, I love the original characters: Kirk, Spock, Bones, McCoy, Uhura. That kind of stuff is all. I'm all about that. Sulu. Then, if I also enjoy Next Generation, so I'm about Picard, Riker, Beverly Crusher, Deanna Troi, Worf, Data, Geordi. I'm into all that. I love that stuff. And you can even get the new ones. You get the Chris Pine Kirk, what's his name? Who is the captain before Kirk? Now I'm a solid Star Trek fan. What is his name? Chris Hemsworth plays him in the first Star Trek movie, Chris Hemsworth plays Kirk's dad, and then in the next movie, the guy that played Kennedy and everybody comes back and plays Commander Pike from the pilot. Anyway, you can collect characters all across Star Trek. There's some cartoon characters. I don't know those cartoon characters. There seems like it's a lot of fun for Star Trek fans. So if you're a Star Trek fan, you want to build up a thing, the collectability is very good in this game. Community, I'm going to give it a 4. It seems like you get into Alliance. It does seem like you're helping each other out. There's probably some chat functions down the road. I didn't look it up. I hope there are. And you can work together to beat other players as well. Strategy gets a 2. There's some farming strategy involved. I'm sure along the way you got to figure out, do I go and farm these asteroids for an hour, or do I do it the cheap way? Do I go attack a player? Do I risk? So you have to give overall farming strategies and collection strategies. But as far as battle strategies, it just seems like whoever's bigger is going to win, and that's really the main strategy in the game. PvP, player versus player, I'm going to give it a 3. There is going to be some level of that, because when I was sitting in my galaxy, I could see other players around me and their bases building up. Like, I was at level 6, I could see a level 5, a level 4, I could see those other players in my galaxy. I can't attack them until I'm level 10. So there is some level of, you want to protect yourself against other players, maybe become friends with them, get into an alliance with them. You want to, get a bigger ship so you can PvP them, and then they come get you, and then you build yours up and you PvP them. They're trying to encourage you to spend money, though, because whatever bigger ship wins, you go spend some money, get a big ship, boom, you kill them. So PvP gets a 3 right in the middle. And finally, free-to-play. I'm going to give it a 3 for a free-to-play player. Yeah, you can get wiped out in a heartbeat, and probably will by somebody who's spending a bunch of money, but it is very free-to-play friendly. You can go out and do all the farming you want until a certain level. I'm sure it gets challenging, but it does seem like you can play free-to-play, advance your roster, do all the collecting you want, build the ships up, eventually get to the ships you want. You're going to have goals in line the whole time. You can see them, see the goals right in front of you, and have fun as a free-to-play player. So overall, that's an average of 3.4. That's what I give this game. Kind of right in the middle, a little bit above. If you're really, really into Star Trek, you want to collect the officers, you want to collect the ships, you want to have some fun going out there. If you want to spend a little bit of money, this is probably going to be a great game for you. You can have a lot of fun. If you want to do it free to play, it's going to be a good game for you. Just be prepared to get wiped out every now and then. And that's my review, guys. 3.4, Star Trek Fleet Command. I did enjoy playing it for a day. Not something I'll pick up permanently because I got enough going on. And, well, guys, that's the end of this video. Hope this review helps you decide if you want to try out Star Trek Fleet Command or just let it go. And, of course, always remember, Nooch too good. Young fool. Only now, at the end of the video, do you understand that you must like and subscribe and watch more videos and tune to the channel and join and just generally support the channel and have lots of fun.